Hey everybody, it's Dr. Dost. Welcome back to my channel. I'm glad you're here for Biblical Aramaic Lesson 11. Before we get started, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I think about 9% of my viewers are subscribed and the others just kind of stumble across the videos. So I'd really appreciate your subscribing. Be sure to like the video, and if you would, please share it on social media with others who may be interested. I appreciate your supporting the channel. Let's get started. All right, so the Aramaic alphabet, let's review the letters that we've gone over. So the first is we have Aleph. Now, I should point out, in light of some of the comments that I've received, many of the people who watch these videos, when they think of Aramaic, they're thinking of modern Syriac, or maybe they've studied ancient Syriac. And the pronunciation of Aramaic is different depending on what dialect you're talking about and what period of history you're talking about. So we're doing Biblical Aramaic, and in the course of my studies during my master's and doctoral work, I've studied Biblical Aramaic, Jewish Palestinian Aramaic, the various dialects of Aramaic that you find in the Aramaic Targumim, a little bit of Syriac. And so I'm well aware that there are different traditions for for naming these letters and for pronouncing them. What I'm doing in these videos is using or following the custom that obtains in biblical scholarship, where for both biblical Hebrew and for biblical Aramaic, we use modern Israeli pronunciation. The reality is there is no one correct pronunciation of any language. And you see that, for example, in English. I mean, if you talk to someone from Boston, they're going to pronounce certain words a certain way, and those words will be pronounced differently in Connecticut, New York, Minnesota, Mississippi, and so on. Another example is if you look at Arabic, for instance, how one is taught to pronounce Arabic, the Fusha dialect, the modern standard Arabic, is very different from how Aramaic is going to be pronounced in Egypt, or how Arabic is going to be pronounced in Egypt. And that's different from how it's going to be pronounced in Palestine. And even in Palestine, there are multiple pronunciations. So if you look at a comprehensive Palestinian Arabic grammar or, a primer, what you'll find is that it's common to learn multiple pronunciations. And so this whole idea that there is one way to pronounce the Aramaic language is just simply not true. It's a 3,000-year-old language that has been spoken and read and used in liturgy throughout pretty much the entire world. So for that reason, we're just going to do what biblical scholars do and stick with the custom of using the modern Israeli pronunciation. It's just a standard that everybody can hold to. All right, so the first letter is Aleph. Aleph, we said, is a silent letter in the modern Israeli pronunciation. In ancient times, it would have been a glottal stop, but we are not going to pronounce it. Beit, the letter Beit, if it has a dagesh or a dot inside it, it makes the B sound as in boy. And if it doesn't have the dot or the dagesh in it, it makes a V sound like in victory. So B and V. All right, and then we have the letter Gimel, and Gimel in modern Israeli pronunciation makes a G, like in the word gorgeous. Dalet makes a D sound, a hard D sound, like in the word door. So we've got Aleph, Beit, Gimel, Dalet. Aleph, Beit, Gimel, Dalet. And then we have Hey. Hey, when it functions as a consonant, makes a soft H sound. A lot of times it's a vowel marker. So for instance, if you have a word that ends in an A vowel, like a lot of feminine singular adjectives do, for instance, there will be a hey, but that hey does not function as a consonant. It's really just a placeholder for the vowel or an indicator that there's supposed to be a vowel there. And this custom dates back to the time when there were no vowel signs in Hebrew and Aramaic script. And so certain consonants would sometimes function as vowel indicators. All right, then we get Vav, which in Israeli pronunciation is generally a V sound like in victory. Sometimes we will see that it makes the U sound, and this is when the Vav functions as a vowel marker for an U or sometimes an O sound. Next we have Zion, which is a Z like in zebra. So Aleph, Beit, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav, Zayin. Aleph, Beit, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav, Zayin. Chet, and that makes the that fricative sound. Chet. Our next letter is Tet, which makes a T sound. And then we have Yud, Yud, which generally makes a Y sound. It can also be a vowel indicator for European I vowels and long E vowels. So, like in the word machine, the I in machine, when we have that sound in Aramaic, sometimes a Yud will be used to represent the fact that there's that long European I vowel there. And then the E, like in the word obey, obey. When we have that sound in Hebrew and Aramaic, a lot of times the Yud will be used to indicate the long E vowel, like in obey. All right, and today's letter is kaph, kaph. And when kaph has a dagesh in it, it makes a hard K sound like in the word kick. However, when the kaph is lacking the dagesh or lacking the dot, then it makes a ch sound, which in modern Israeli pronunciation is identical to the sound of chet. So these two letters are going to make the same sound. Ch, ch. So kaph with the dagesh, the hard kaph, k. Kaph without the dagesh, the soft kaph makes ch. And then when kaph appears in the final position of a word, it will actually change shape, and it will make the ch sound, as does the hard kaph without the dagesh here. So we have k, which can occur in the beginning or middle of a word. We have ch, which can occur at the beginning or a middle of a word. And then we have ch, which only occurs in word final position. So the sounds of kaph, as I mentioned, we have the hard K sound, like in the word kerem for vineyard, kerem for vineyard. Notice the resh and the final mem there, kerem. So kaph, resh, mem. We haven't covered resh and mem yet, but that is kerem. And then the two vowels that you see there, which have three dots, that makes a soft E. So that's why it's kerem, kerem. I know that I haven't taught the vowels yet, but if you look at the card on the screen, that will bring you to a video that I recorded for one of my Hebrew playlists, which goes through the vowels in detail. And it's good to watch that because in the Hebrew Bible, the Aramaic portions of the Bible and the Hebrew portions of the Bible use the exact same consonantal and vowel system. And so rather than recording a second video which would contain identical material for Aramaic, I would encourage you to watch the Hebrew vowel video. And again, just click that card that appeared on the screen. All right, now here, this kaph occurs without the dagesh in word medial position. And so this word is zachu, zachu. And I represent this sound ch when for the soft kaph with an underlined K, Different books are going to transcribe this differently, but this is an acceptable practice. So zachu, and this means innocence. And then kaph in the word final position we see here, we're also going to use the underlined K, and that is melech, melech for king, melech. All right, so let's look at some kaph words. Of course, we've already seen the word for king, melech, melech, melech. The word for innocence, we've also seen, zachu, zachu, zachu. Now, Cyrus, the Persian emperor, or the Achaemenid emperor, Koresh, Koresh, Koresh. There we have the kaph in the initial position with the dagesh, or the dot, and so it makes a hard K sound. Koresh. Now for some review words. Do you remember the word for friend or companion in the masculine singular? chavar, chavar. Chet, bet, resh, chavar. And then his friends, masculine plural, his friends, chavroi, 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 his friends. How about the masculine singular form of the word for good? Tav, tav, tav. The word for mountain? Tur, tur, tur. Decree, decree. To aim, to aim, to aim. Fingernail. Tfar, tfar, tfar. A hurtful act or a crime. A hurtful act or a crime. Chavula, chavula, chavula. How do we say his body? His body. Gishmei, gishmei, gishmei. And what about the word stone? Evan, Evan, Evan. One in the masculine singular. Chad, chad, chad. Flesh. Bsar, bsar, bsar. Lord or owner. Lord or owner. Be'el, be'el, be'el. Pit or den. Gove, gove, gove. He reveals, he reveals. Gale, gale, gale. Thanks for joining me for this video. I know I advertised it as 3-minute language lessons. It took a little bit longer today, but hopefully it was worth your time. Be sure to tune in next time when we learn our next letter. And remember to subscribe, like the video, and please share it on social media. I really appreciate it. And if you have any comments or questions that you'd like to ask me, suggestions for how I can improve these videos, please be sure to put it in the comments below.